Okay, so here we go. Super Hulk versus Thorion. Now, if you don't know, Super Hulk is essentially, well, it's the amalgamation of Hulk and Superman. As you can tell, he's more Hulk in the Superman gear, and Thorion is a combination of Thor and Orion. So you have well, you have a god of Asgard and essentially a new Genesis god. So the god of thunder versus the dog of war combined into one. Thorion is a ridiculously powerful individual. Super Hulk is Superman Hulk. So we do this like we normally do with the 9 criteria. Now again, Thorion existed in about 2 comics, I think, and a background in 1. Super Hulk is an original character. So we'll get right into this. Intelligence. Who takes it when it comes to intelligence? Well, Thor by himself, God, not known for his intelligence. Orion, same thing. They're both, of course, given into the flights of warrior madness. On the other side, you've got Superman, highly intelligent individual, and the Hulk. Depending on a variation of Hulk, again, highly intelligent. So I'm looking at 2 guys who are smart, but have never been known to be really intelligent, versus an amalgamation that is at least one guy who's smart, potentially both guys who are smart. Findability. Flat out, you have 2 of probably the most prolific god-level fighters. Easily. Strength. This is an easy one here. You're probably thinking, why did I give it to Thorion? Combination of Thor and Orion. I'm looking at Hulk, who is pretty much the epitome of physical strength. Combining that with Superman's strength, that should be the absolute end-all, be-all when it comes to strength. Is that the power combination of Superman with his solar radiation-based energy and the strength he has from that, combined with the gamma radiation you have of Hulk, that's a tremendous amount of strength. Speed. Thor has a decent amount of superhuman speed, as does Orion. Combine the 2 of them, you take 2 guys with speed, you have a guy who has an equivalent level of speed. Hulk, he has no true measurable level of super speed. He is fast given his size. And plus, given that character design, he's in no way, shape, or form aerodynamic. Durability. Sorry, I've got 2 gods. Thor has a great healing factor. Superman, great healing factor, but he's taken out effectively a dual god. A person who, ironically, ends up having not 1, but 2 sets of god level of god level durability. I'll see if I can increase this one if that makes. People said that my mics come off kind of weak, and I've got a gauge that's telling me how loud I am, so I've turned up both sets of the gauges for that, so it makes a difference. Invulnerability. This one, I'm actually give this one to Super Hulk. If anything else, Superman's vulnerability is to magic and kryptonite. Well, I'm now combining that with the invulnerability of Hulk, which gets actually higher over time. And he's immune to virtually everything. So the guy with very few immunities, by the guy with absolutely almost 0 immunities. There you go. That's a tremendous high level of vulnerability. Not taking anything away from Thorion, Orion, being a new god, does actually have a weakness to, I think it's a radium, which he's entirely vulnerable to. Energy projection. The combination of the astral force, which essentially is a direct pull-off from the source, is devastating by itself. Combine that with Mjolnir, that's a casual god, a casual planet destroyer. Same with versatility. Ironically, you actually read through the different abilities that actually have to exist when it comes to the Astro Force beyond Thor's ability to control weather. I mean, that is a tremendous amount of just ability at range. X Factor with the Thorion. When I did my fight with the winner of this one being, of course, Thorion. Now, people complained in the past when I did one for Wildcard versus Darkclaw, which essentially was a combination of Wolverine and Batman versus Joker Gambit. This is the same sort of scenario. Thor and Hulk are close. I give the edge to Thor. Thor and Orion are pretty close. I actually give Orion an edge over Hulk. Now, Superman persona. Orion has shown he can easily hang with someone like Darkseid. And he can effectively hang with Superman pretty effectively too. And Thor, I'd put him equal to, if not higher. So I've got two guys that are equal to or greater than the other two, so it makes it kind of an unfair advantage for Thorion. So I decided, well, why not go to another one? This is a version, as I find, of a Super Saiyan Superman. Hence Super Saiyan Man. I wanted to do this one as well. I had another one where he was in the, where it was the Goku Superman hybrid, but this one I was like, alright, this one's got everything. He's full Super Saiyan mode. He's got the blue and gold lightning. You can tell he is at a tremendously high level. So, here we go. Round 2. Still give the intelligence edge. Fighting edge. If Superman were to be a better fighter, I could probably see giving the edge to Super Saiyan Man. Strength. I'll probably get some flack for this one. Goku, very strong. But he's normally, someone's probably going to say, if you do Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan times 10 Kaioken with 4 sensu beans and having absorbed every single namek he can find, he's so... Okay, I'm aware that whenever a movie comes out, they exponentially increase the amount of power that Goku has. But we're not looking at Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan times 10 Kaioken Superman. We're looking pretty much at what we saw in the main series, not the movies. Not the movies. Not the mangas, not GT, just this. And Super Saiyan Goku, decent amount of strength, but nothing that really makes you think that he is on par with a Thor or an Orion. Speed, yep. I have two guys with a decent amount of measurable superhuman speed. Definitely give him the edge. Durability. This is where it gets kind of dicey. I'm actually going to give this one over to Super Saiyan Man. You're probably thinking, but previously I said I've got dual god levels of durability. True. At this point in time, I've got the level of durability from Goku, who is constantly being able to draw energy from his chi, or ki, depending on how you want to pronounce it. So he has his own self-fulfilling level of energy. Superman is essentially a giant battery when it comes to solar energy. So I've got the ability to draw energy from oneself and constantly refilling one's body with solar energy. That means unless the sun is destroyed, we might have some issues. However, at the same time, this fusion also means that if the moon is out, there's the ability to harness energy from the moon, as well as harness your own internal energy. And I'd be willing to bet that the overall fighting spirit that dwells within Superman, combine that with Goku, is probably going to be someone who's going to fight until the absolute end of time. Invulnerability. You know, I'll give this one to Thorion. One of the big problems with a lot of the Dragon Ball Z characters is there's fear from things like bullets, and they get scraped by glass. They actually do get abrasions. So the invulnerability will actually be slightly decreased on Superman due to the combination with the Super Saiyan Goku. Still a little bit. Not a lot, but still enough to make it lower than the combination of Thor and Orion. Raw energy projection. I'm going to give this one to Super Saiyan Man. If anything else, I'm looking at a character who can now do heat vision, frost breath, which he did simultaneously as Superman. I can now combine that with the ability of a Kaioken and then a Kamehameha with that. Sorry, not a Kaioken, a Kamehameha. Which is actually driven by the amount of energy that that body can produce. That's going to be sick. Not to mention the fact that if these two get into any sort of combat, there's so much love that exists in the planet for Superman that if he wanted to do a spirit bomb, yes, Malefic's spirit bomb will have an issue when it comes to affecting an individual who is good of heart. Orion, for the most part, good of heart. but both these characters actually do have the ability of a warrior madness, which would technically kind of make them fall under the spell of madness, which would make them somewhat tick away from good, more into like a barbarian neutral level. So that actually could easily affect them. Versatility, yeah. Even though I'm looking at the added attributes of Super Saiyan Goku, I'm still looking at a guy who's got the Astral Force, who's got Mjolnir, and all his sword shade abilities, and that's just way too much to try to overcome. Now it comes down to X Factor. Super Saiyan, man. If anything else, the combination of Superman's never say die, you gotta put me in the ground and hope I stay there fight mentality, combining that with Goku's you better put me in the ground and hope that I never can make it back level of fighting mentality, you've got two individuals who synergistically are going to be the absolute hardest people to try to put down. Superman has shown more recently in comics he actually can go farther. He's holding back. He's got that level to go a little bit more. If things go south with Goku, there's always some additional level that he can push his body to. So even though we're looking here, this is a Super Saiyan man, you know, it's the shorter hairstyle. That version could easily push himself up to a 3. I could pretty easily look at this and go, you know what? He could probably go to a 4. He could probably pretty easily go from that to the long jet black hair and hit a level where he's probably just sub Super Saiyan God. Heck, who knows? Maybe the combination of Kryptonian DNA with with the Vegetan DNA, that potentially could hit a level where there's enough self-fulfilling energy to push himself to Super Saiyan God or beyond Super Saiyan God in a more regular context, not needing absorption of other Super Saiyans, potentially. So with that one, just look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Just look at that. Look at the energy there. Look at the determination. That is an individual who would strike fear into the heart of almost any combatant.